Hey, howdy! Ooh. I'm back. We're doing some more Yumatiki. Today's gonna be another relatively chill day. I kinda wanna do the daily and then the weekly, and then I also wanna do the I wanna go to Planetarium today. I don't know why. I think it's because like Nadeko mentioned it in chat, and I was like, you know what, I kinda wanna go to Planetarium today. But we've got Dream Bank and Garden Festival, and I don't know where that vending machine actually is. Someone might say it in chat or something, but for the time being, we're going to Dream Bank, which is another place that I haven't been to in a long time. But yeah, it's just right over here. I've never had a reason to go in here because it's, to be frank, there's not a lot really here, but I do kind of want to check my balance on here. But yeah, things have been swell. I had a dentist appointment today. That was like interesting. Yeah, I have so much money in the bank. Oh my god. I think I must have stashed away. God, this is a while ago now. I think the last time I went here genuinely might have been when we did the Delta Judgment stuff. Hang on. Ooh. Yeah, hang on. 123,551 is my grand total right now. I'll tell you what, let me pull out... Yes! A clean 100,000, that's perfect. And now, Garden Festival, I have the route written down. The route on the wiki kind of wants me to go through Bleeding Mushroom Garden, but I have another idea. I'm just going to go through Bridge Swamp Islands instead. That'll probably be a little bit faster, a little bit smoother. I gotta say, the more I play this game, and the more I like get better at using maps in general, the less I trust the immediate response for the route that you're supposed to take to go to a place. I'm starting to notice that I like to bully map software. I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but I like I use Waze a lot just for like general GPS navigation. And I found very consistently that especially because I live in the south, usually technically the fastest way to get somewhere is to use the highway, but I don't want to use the highway. So what I end up doing is, I put my GPS app through hell, and I consistently ignore the highway and wait to see what it does. Because after a certain point, thinking about it in terms of like calculus, there is a certain point where it is no longer worth it for the software to try and like jerk me around to go back onto the highway in some weird U-turn or some like side road or neighborhood. After a certain point, it will just give up and say, you know what, you win, just go off the highway. But sometimes it takes ages for that. Which, maybe it makes me a bad person that I don't just put into the, into Waze, hey, try and avoid the highways if you can. Not that I like to see it struggle, but Waze is weirdly insistent on highways, like to the point where I almost feel like there's some kind of bug that makes it value them too highly. Oh my god, this is the cutest statue I've ever seen. Wait, this is so cute. Hang on. It's time for the festival. Speaking of, by the way, Deltarune happened. I didn't talk about like... There have been a couple of really, really big... Oh, what did I just pick up? I'm picking up, like, toys and stuff. There's, like, a beach ball, there's, like, pictures. Oh my god, this is so cute. These characters are adorable. They're dancing over here. This is like, this is what I would picture to be in like an actual, like story-based RPG Maker game. God, these two are cute. Such whimsy. But yeah, there were a bunch of gaming news all happened around like the same week and a half. That there was the Xbox showcase, there was let me see if I remember everything. Summer Games Fest, Xbox showcase, I think there was a Sony thing, and then a Nintendo Direct, all within the span of like a week. Oh. Oh! Wait, this is a mini game. I'm putting toys back. Okay, that's really cute. Wait, that's awesome. I wonder if there's a reward for doing all of these. But yeah, there were a couple of cool things. There was Deltarune. Deltarune finally got a release date, which I kind of figured was going to happen within like the next week or so. Like, I think I had the date down almost exactly for when they were going to announce it. But my date for when it was happening was actually wrong. I assumed it was going to come out the same day as Toy Story 5. So this is awesome. Oh, and wait a minute. I wonder, do these all, like, regrow? I would assume they probably do. But you know what? While I'm here, this is the first time I've ever been to Garden Festival, let me just pick up all of the trash and deposit it all and see if the game does something. Maybe this is how the gate opens. And even if it doesn't, I'm being a good person. But yeah, Deltarune, very excited for that. I couldn't help but notice in the announcement trailer, they showed almost nothing about the chapter itself. Like, even with chapters 3 and 4, they showed more. Which has me kind of scared, especially with the email blast that Toby Fox sent out right after the Direct. Eventually, Toby Fox will stop having fun with words and semantics and show us the rest of the plot, but today is not that day. And the way that it was being phrased... Okay, you can just go through the door. The way that it was being phrased seemed to imply that this is the last happy adventure that they are going to have. Oh, there's more stuff inside. Cool. There's, like, recycling bins and shit. Wait, this is awesome. The implication seemed to be that this is going to be the last genuinely happy adventure in the whole adventure. Because there's still chapters 6 and 7, and I have a bad feeling that, things are going to go wrong. Because the fun thing about chapter 5, to my understanding... Oh! Okay, I can yammer on about Deltarune later. This is so cute. Oh my god. This is like, it's making my heart melt. Is that an urn in the shape of, like, an urn with the pattern of Urasuki's, like, outfit? I'm not entirely sure what outfit that even is, to be fair. Oh, is the question mark is random, I guess. So this is basically a really complex vending machine. I like that a lot. Give me a picture. I want to see a close-up of this picture. Oh! Wait, hang on. I strongly desire a picture of you because you were really cute. Aww. I gotta see the rest of these. Wait, this is so cute. So I was kind of expecting... Yeah. I was kind of expecting these little thumbnails to be the same thing as what you get. No, these are all entirely different. I wonder if these pop up in the snack gallery. Cool. Same as Urasuki's little, like, plaid outfit. Cute sun hat. Oh my god. You hear the joy in my voice, right? This is so this is so precious. Okay, that was an eating sound. Did you just eat the shirt? Ursuki, do we need to have a conversation? Okay, and that's like it's a ball of yarn, a skein of yarn. This is a little doll. God, the joy in my heart cannot be overstated right now. Ooh. This is like a smoothie. This is like a health drink, I guess. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. A dozen red roses. Resisting the urge to make a reference to the room, because the joy and whimsy need not be interrupted with that. Oh my god! I kind of look like Aya from Mad Father. Another like RPG Maker classic, a little less cutesy than this, I guess. This has got to be an outfit too, then. This is the yeah, this is the little blue boy with the beret. That's also really cute. I wonder if these outfits unlock in the mask shop. Oh, oh, oh my god! I look like Abby from Mindwave. And there's sitting animations. Wait, I have the biggest dorkiest smile on my face. This is so precious. Okay. Circling back, I guess. The joy and whimsy still continues to course through my body, but I still need to talk about things. Um, it's very convenient, almost too convenient, that there was basically no information given. Oh my god, this outfit's adorable. Oh, and I can be the shopkeeper as well. I gotta go with this one. This is too cute. It's very convenient that there was almost no information, given the fact that Chapter 5 was supposed to be the original cliffhanger, when it was just... The plan was originally going to be Chapters 1 through 5, I think it was going to be 1 through 3, then 4 and 5, then 6 and 7. Ooh. Really cute. This is like, oh, what is the name of the area? Because this is very... This parallax is very, like, Sugar Star Planetarium from Amori. I forget the other area that has the same, like, motif. I think there might actually be a couple. But by my logic, Chapter 5 is going to end on a huge cliffhanger, and then we're going to be stuck with that until Chapters 6 and 7 come out. And that's just going to be the way that it goes. I don't know if I'm going to play it on the channel, because I know people get really feral about Deltarune, and also I don't want to get spoiled, so I'm probably going to completely decouple from the internet for a while, play through it, and then vibrate furiously with enthusiasm about what it all means, and the answers that we got, and the answers that are still left unanswered that are not going to be answered for probably another 2 years at this point. Oh my god! Even this art. Wait, that means that all the rest of this art is also new, huh? Give me just a second. Yeah, and I guess, Let's start with the boy and girl and and Abby Mindwave. Okay, yeah. Oh, she's surrounded by toys. That's really sweet. And I guess the boy is probably the same, right? No! The boy is cool and he's surrounded by birds. Love that. And Abby Mindwave is surrounded by flowers. That tracks. Surrounded by adorable roses. Oops. And the shopkeeper is... Oh, sunflowers. Very cool. Alright. Well, that was utterly delightful. 10 out of 10, no notes. Let's go and do... let's go to Purple World. Let's do the route through to Planetarium. So yeah, Deltarune got announced. I'm very, very excited for that, and what the hell that's gonna mean in the grand scheme of things. Right. There was a surprising amount of announcements, even at the Direct. I know people... I almost feel like people are a little too harsh on the Nintendo Directs, because even when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this is not really for... Most of these announcements are, like, not really for me, but I'm happy for the people that are excited for these things. Like, there's more information about, like, Splatoon Raiders, which I'm not interested in, but, like, cool for the people that wanted that. And, Ocarina Remake is kind of, like, whatever. Will probably be good. Might lead to a Majora's Mask remake as well, which could be interesting, but I almost feel like they're not going to, because, like, Ocarina is the one that is much more desperately in need of a remake. Which I did see someone say, like, Ocarina of Time remake got announced. Oh no, time for 2 more years of Twitter discourse for whether Ocarina is a good game or not. Never actually played Ocarina, so I can't really speak on that. I've heard that it has some very, very frustrating aspects, but it is a really technically impressive game. It's apparently, like, very good story. And again, like, it's an N64 game. They were working with what they had, and even then they made a very, 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 very solid 3D platformer. In the days before 3D platformers even really existed in their modern form. What else? New Spyro. I am pensive about New Spyro. I think I'm gonna wait and see how it is. The main issue is that I just do not trust Toys for Bob as a company. I think I was never huge on Skylanders, I was never huge on basically any of their stuff. I hated the way that the Reignited trilogy looked. I'm sure it will be okay. I'm just happy that they're using Spyro for stuff again. Because there was a stretch of time where they used Spyro a lot and then just completely dropped the IP and refused to touch it again. So, like, this is better than nothing, but I'm still mixed on it. We'll have to see. There was that, there was, Splatoon, there was new Fire Emblem. Looks fine. I've never actually played a Fire Emblem, so I can't really speak on it. Let me hit up this vending machine while I'm over here. I think it's... yeah, Deserted Town is right over here. Ooh. But admittedly, Summer Game Fest in particular, I was my ass was not paying attention. I was watching some friends make dinner, and I was sitting with the volume off, just like looking over my shoulder to see what they were doing, and every once in a while I would like look back over and like check chat, and it would be something kind of interesting but not necessarily my thing, and I would just go right back to looking at something else. Because I believe it was Summer Games Fest that ended with, The two things that really stuck out to me were Street Fighter 6, like DLC characters, which I haven't even played Street Fighter 6, but that is a thing that I like clocked as like, oh, this is something that's happening. And one of the DLC characters is Tifa Lockhart, and as much as I want to say that I am, like, I'm stronger than this, I will not fall victim to the fan service. I haven't even played Final Fantasy VII. I am not immune to Tifa Lockhart. Look, I am but a measly mortal. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake, which not really interested for the time being, because the trick with Final Fantasy VII is that it is, even in its original incarnation, it was long as hell, and it released on, I think, 3 different discs, because it was what would that have been? PSX or PS2? I think it was PSX. But they released on multiple different discs that you literally had to swap out the discs depending on what part of the story you were in. Which, it was a unbelievably large game. So it only makes sense that they're breaking them up. But what I'm less a fan of is the fact that they're charging like $70, $80 per section. And because of the way that modern games are made, there's no used game market whatsoever. Like, there's zero used game market because the combination of Steam and game cards have completely wiped that out. So you kind of just have to pay full price or wait 10 years or pirate it. Like, there's not a lot of, you don't have a lot of options. Your options are just to deal with the discomfort of pirating games and the fact that you are very likely to just download malware, or like, even if you don't download malware. Like, Nintendo and Square Enix have all that shit, have the pulse of all of those websites that distribute that stuff. You are on a list. Which, that's the thing that I'm slightly less keen on. Is like, Nintendo is aware of websites like Vim's Lair, and they are also aware of more, like, actively, like, less morally gray things like Fit Girl, like, repacks of games, so they will just go after people. At least that's my fear. I don't really want to get wrapped up in that. But I also don't want to pay $80 for a game. Especially not 3 of them. So I think my move for now is to just not play them and wait to see what happens. Maybe at some point they release some, like, I don't even know, some combo of all 3 of them for a somewhat reasonable price. And I can just buy that. It's like all 3 of them for $100 or something. It has been an age since I've been to Abandoned Factory or Abandoned Apartments. Yeah, because I think I'm going the right way. Let me get on the pedalo. I do like these. I also... Thank you, Off, for introducing me to what the hell a pedalo is. I always found it kind of funny that for a lot of people, like this type of boat, they only got introduced to it because of Deltarune. But the section in Deltarune is just, to my understanding, is just a direct reference to the amusement park from Off. This is abandoned apartments, okay. And I'm desensitized to it now because I've been through all these areas a bunch, and I've also seen a whole bunch of areas that use this music. God, the music in this area is gorgeous. I forget if this is a Y24U track or who actually does this. It probably says in the wiki. Let's see. This is by... Nah, it doesn't say. They're like little... Lower, it's by QSOURDFJ. I think I've seen their name around doing other stuff in Tuki, but I forget what it was. I think they made like a world or two. I did also see some music in here that was by Camellia, which is awesome. I know Camellia did like the clown section for Underwater Amusement Park. They did I think they did multiple of the tracks from Underwater Amusement Park. Realistic Cave, that area with like, excuse me, that area with like the sheep, where it's like that little like structure in the cave where you can like go into it upside down or something like that, and there's the sheep that you can like try and chainsaw, and it cuts to a graphic of Arasuki with her head cut off. The comparison between this and Club Penguin is so fascinating to me. Because the more I think about it, the more I realize that, like, my generation, and I guess even more so Gen Alpha, doesn't really have a Club Penguin equivalent. Because, like, depending on circumstance, there is a chance that people in my generation did experience Club Penguin, but it is much more of a millennial thing. And, like, there's no Club Penguin, there's no Habba Hotel. Habba Hotel is a shell of its former self, and every time it pops up, I feel really bad for it, because, oh god, the things that they try to do to stay relevant at the cost of any kind of dignity, it is unfortunate. God, this area is so gorgeous. I don't think anything's ever going to beat the whimsy of Forest Carnival, though. Or Garden Festival, excuse me. Forest Carnival is, that's the area we were in yesterday, wasn't it? That was the area with all the red curtains. Garden Festival is like the cutesy version of that. Less clowns, thankfully. Less chasers, I guess. I don't think there were clowns in there. That's the place that has the, what am I even thinking of? It was like the High Priestess's game. There was something that you could, like, do that had a bunch of chasers in it. And there was a secret achievement for doing it without getting caught once. Gorgeous. And we've got... I didn't realize Nautica was already here. This parallax is so pretty. And yeah, we are exactly at 30 minutes. I timed that super well. Is that the car from, oh, what am I even thinking of? Is it Blue Restaurant? Where does that pop up? It shows up in one of, Sniper Bob's worlds, I think. But yeah, that's all I got for now. I think I'm gonna idle here as part of the rainbow. That's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.